Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Saturday Night Live episode of Ant-Archy. That's right, boys. We are back for another episode of Ant-Archy, and today we're going to talk about men's mental health. If you are an OG, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, and I want to tell you this, but you're the GOAT. But with men's mental health, it was my very first episode that I ever did on Ant-Archy. And I think I want to make it a yearly thing, so that way I do it every year. We talk about it every year. You may have more guests. You may have different guests. You may have people that want to talk about it more. But today, we are going to talk about how can we increase awareness to men's mental health. Because think about it right now. Who do you know is actually aware that men's mental health is a thing? Maybe your brother, maybe your friend, maybe your barber, your grocery shopper, your coach, your pastor, or whatever male figure you see. But today, to help me talk about men's mental health, I have 4 crazy characters with me. 2 are new and 2 are returning. Okay? And what they're going to do, they're going to help me tackle all this madness. So let's bring them on. All my crazy guests today. We got a packed house. We have Mr. Dixon. We got my man's DJ, and then we got Miss Angela, my nephew Carter. What's good, y'all? How we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Chill guy.
That is good. Boy, let me tell you, I actually miss doing these episodes, man. As much as running around and working and screaming and hollering and being loud, I miss doing this. I miss coming down and relaxing and talking with my panelists.
We miss you too.
Let's get in. Hey, look, man. Mr. Dixon, I think I miss you the least. I'm getting sick tired of you, bro.
Well, that's because you see me every day.
No, bro.
Like
I'm so happy we are summer break. I miss you the least. My God.
It's because you see me every day for like 180 days, 5 days a day. 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's why.
Imagine somebody walk in your room and say, you know what, your head is big, and you walk out. Like, bro, you did that every day for 180 days?
I mean, I didn't do that. I didn't say your head was big every day. I asked you more about food than everything. But we cannot hear you, bro. Why about where? Dude, we can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Like
yes.
Can you hear me now?
There we
go.
go.
God.
Good.
I don't know if my mic unplugged or what, but it just cut out. But anyway, before we have any more technical difficulties, shush! My God, I'm talking like a 7th grader. So before we have any more technical difficulties, I have 4 questions I want to ask you guys. Okay, let's start here. When we talk about men's mental health, a lot of people want to know what areas trigger the most mental health. So if you're confused a little bit by that question, let me give you my response to that. If I think about, I think about 3 things. If someone asks me about my mental health and what is triggering it, I think the top 3 is work, relationship stress, or a fear of appearing to be weak, like asking for help or just asking for assistance in any kind. I think those are my 3 areas where I think mental health is going to be a trigger, or it can trigger. So, DJ, I'm gonna throw this first one at you. So, if you think of areas of mental health, what do you think that triggers it?
When I think of men's mental health, the 3 big things that I think trigger it the most, I'm going to start here. A lack of faith. Faith is a big thing for me. I've always had my faith in the man above, but because a lot of people lack that, I feel like that's one trigger. The second thing that I think may trigger a few men, or if not most men, like you said, fear. Fear also breeds quit. A lot of people don't push themselves hard enough to keep going. So you got a lack of faith. You also have a fear of quitting. And then the third thing is weakness. A lot of people are afraid of their own weaknesses and they're afraid to overcome it. So mentally, when you're feeling weak in certain areas in life, whether it's financially, whether it's stability, whether it's able to maintain yourself, still stay stable, be able to retaliate energy with friendships, communication. A lot of people attack your weaknesses, and that then in return attacks those triggers. Your mental health just starts dropping. So when you lack faith in yourself, when you are afraid, and because you're afraid, you quit, and because of that quit, people attack that weakness. Those three things are the biggest things that I think trigger men's mental health a lot, especially because for us I feel like those are the things where men don't like being weak, neither do women, of course. We don't like being weak.
Most definitely.
Hate it, and then think about
yeah.
And when I'm in the gym and I have someone screaming at me and I drop the weight, they see that I'm about to quit, so they're attacking it. And in my own mind, it's like, what's going on? I don't even want to lift it no more. A lot of people are lacking that faith, because me in the gym, that scream is actually motivating. I'm actually getting angry. I'm actually about to lift this weight, but I need that energy. I need all of that. But some people, they just think they don't pick it back up. They go out that gym door and they call it a day, when it's like they could have picked it up, but they're lacking that faith. They attack their weakness and they're scared. What if I'm not able to do it? Well, I wonder who's watching me, that kind of thing. So yeah, those three things for me, absolutely.
And those are some real good triggers. I'm telling you, those are some really strong areas that I agree with too. So I want to swing it over to our newcomers, to Miss Angela and Carter, my nephew. So when you guys think of men's mental health, what trigger words do you think of?
I'll say for me, what I see a lot is fear of failure. Fear of failure. Excuse me. Got these new phrases. Fear of failure. A lot of men, especially African American men, they don't like to fail. They have a big issue with that. Another thing, it depends on the age also. For younger individuals, I would say peer pressure. Would you agree, Carter?
Mm-hmm.
So what would peer pressure look like? You got one answer. Like
Carter, don't be scared, bro. It's okay. Carter, it's okay. Don't be scared.
So what does it look like in your school? What are kids peer pressured into doing?
Skipping class.
Okay. That's a good one. In the middle school, they're skipping class.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What else are they doing? So that's a trigger.
Vaping.
They vape. Wow. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, we caught these people.
Yes.
Vaping.
Oh my God, we had a whole incident in our school where like 20-30 kids got suspended all because of vaping.
Wow.
I'm telling you something serious.
And
And
that's
distribution.
to peer pressure. Definitely.
Yes, and the distribution too.
Yes, that goes back to peer pressure. But I would say for older men, college, all the way to adulthood, I would say the fear of failure, regardless if it's failure in your place of employment, failure with your home, with your wife, with your failing your children. And a lot of times it's failing themselves, not reaching their personal goals. So then that brings on that triggers those anxieties, that depression, or either they're having PTSD from being traumatized as a child. I'm not going to say beat.
Yeah.
That was a part of, okay, now I have trauma that comes along with that, #failure. So if anything, that's a big one. We can talk a lot about failure and what that looks like for a person and how it triggers them.
That is great. That was great. So before I go to Mr. Big Forehead over here, I want to ask Carter one question. Just one question, Carter. Listen, I'm gonna make it as painless as possible. So if I give you 3 words, I'm gonna give you 3 words, okay? And I want you to tell me which one of the 3 words is more triggering for you. So like if anybody asks, hey, how are you doing today? Which one of the 3 words would you say is the most hefty on your mental health? So school, sports, and expectations. Which one of those 3 words do you think is heavier? And I know Miss Angela's household, but which one of the 3 words? which one of the 3 words is like the heftiest for you?
Expectations.
I figured.
Expectations. Can you tell us why?
I have expectations to like have good grades, play good in sports, and just be a good kid.
Okay, that's a solid answer. That's good. So now let me ask you a follow-up question. So if you feel like your expectations aren't being met, do you believe that the pressure is more onto you or to put you in the right way? Or do you think like maybe the expectations need to loosen up just so you can have that room of freedom to say, oh, I want to do my own, not do my own thing. Let me not say that, but I want to like have room for error. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, do you think the room for expectation is too tight on you for room for failure?
No.
No? Okay. Hey, and hey, look, that's all you can ask for. If expectation is too much, that's when the mental health stuff can come in. Maybe you need to get good grades. Maybe you need to play good in sports. So you feel like when you make one mistake, now you feel like your whole world is crumbling. That's basically what I was trying to get you with my question. But you answered it, so I got you. All right, Mr. Big Forehead, I guess it's your turn.
Elaborate on that.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, great. So I think that comes back.
No, Miss Angela, not you. Not you. I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you. No.
I want to elaborate on it.
No, I met Mr. Dixon. So I'll give you 30 seconds, Mr. Dixon. I don't like you because you talk a lot of trash.
Okay. So my 3 would definitely be the expectations for our age range, work, and then past trauma. Because a lot of people have grown up and experienced things as children and didn't have someone to cope or to talk to or know how to cope with those things. And those past traumas, they don't talk about them, they don't share them, especially with us males. Like whether it was they were abused as a child, whether it like they lost a loved one at a really young age and didn't know how to deal with death, they carry that and they don't talk about it. And then like I know growing up, there was a lot of yo mama jokes. Those yo mama jokes used to set me off. They like triggered me to a whole nother level of angry. Like it was really bad coming through school. When it comes to work, the stresses of work is kind of crazy. Like especially as a teacher, it's really intense. The beginning of the year and the end of the year is probably the most intense for teachers, especially if you're dealing with kids with disabilities, because you have so much paperwork and you have to be accurate because they're legal documents. And then you got kids be like, oh, it's just the beginning of the school year, I can make it up. Or it's the end of the school year, I'm ready to go, And I actually forgot my 3rd one. I'm not even gonna lie. Someone could remind me.
Do you know what line the 3rd one was?
It was like school. Oh yeah, expectations. That's right, expectations. As African American men, a lot of our expectations, and this comes from social media and a lot of our friends and sometimes our parents, they push that we have to be good at athletics. They're like, yo, be good at sports, whether it's football, basketball, track, tennis, golf, whatever it may be. They push that. A lot of parents push that. And then you get in school and you realize you're not that good. And then you're not meeting those expectations that you hold. And then you start self-crashing on yourself. You start demeaning yourself, thinking you're less than when you're not. Like a lot of people like to go to Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team, but he had the work ethic and the talent. Mm-hmm. But what about the other 90% of the people that don't play in college, don't play overseas, don't play in the NBA? There's so many people, they have potential, but they have blinders on because their expectations have been set to focus on sports. And that's one thing I tried to tell my students this year. I'm like, yo, you have to perform on and off the court. Be mindful who you keep around you, because if they get caught up in something and you're just in that vicinity and they know you, you're going to get pulled in it too.
Mhm.
And it's the one thing that, my dad said to me a lot. He said, you show me your friends, I can show you your future. Because if you're surrounded by five people that are failing classes, you're going to be the sixth. If you're surrounded by five people that are passing and doing their best, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the sixth.
That's really heavy. So I want to, since with that heavy response, I'm gonna share something heavy with me too. That the expectations, I can really relate to the expectations part. So when I say I can relate to that, is because growing up, I was always the best football player in my neighborhood. I wasn't the best one like in the county or no, I wasn't anything. But I was the greatest kid, like, in my neighborhood. I wasn't the fastest, but I would always go and get the ball. I was like the most sure-handed receiver that my neighborhood had. But I think when I started playing recreational sports, then it came into I'm going up against kids in different neighborhoods. I'm going up against kids in different districts of the county. And so when I wasn't performing as good as I thought I would or I thought I was, then my kind of confidence started to dwindle. And confidence and mental health, those go hand in hand. Miss Angela, you can stop me at any point if I'm wrong.
Oh, no.
Um, but confidence and mental health, those go hand in hand. If you have a lot of self-doubt, if you don't have a lot of confidence, then your mental health is not fully there. If you don't if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that I am the best person here, I am the best person on the field, I am the best person in the classroom, or the best person that's driving. I don't know, I get a bad example, but 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 like if you don't believe in that, then what do you believe in? If you don't believe in yourself, how can you believe in anything else? Because if you have nothing to stand on, you're gonna fall anyway.
Oh, come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So so it's like if I wanted to gain the confidence in playing more sports, if I had a lot of confidence back then, if I didn't have any self-doubt back then, I probably would have I probably could have been competing for a spot in the combine, like the NFL combine. Like when I say like I was that good. I really let myself go because I didn't believe in myself. I was like, oh well, this person's better than me, so I'm gonna stop. This person was faster than me, stronger than me. I don't think I belong here. Like I didn't feel like I belonged. But now that I'm 24, now I'm around football every single day. I talk about football every day. My social media feed, football every day. So it's like I wish I would have took it more seriously back then, elementary school, middle school, where my opportunities were high, rather than me taking it seriously when I get out of college, and now it's over. So now I'm playing football for fun instead of playing football to professionally and project my career. Okay. So now I want to move on to the next question. Now the next question is, um, in society, we use the term man up or toughen up for boys, for young men, and really, I still hear it today, and I'm 24. I still hear it. But do you believe we are overusing the term man up? And also to that, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the term man up in general? And do you think we're overusing it? So, Mr. Dixon, we can have you start with this question.
Man up, man up, man up. Growing up, I'm happy I can say that I wasn't told to man up. I was allowed to enjoy my childhood. I was told to grow up, but I wasn't told to man up. I believe that statement, makes a lot of men feel like they have to be strong all the time. I feel like if we ever just let our kids be kids, you know, and have them to grow naturally as we guide them as parents. And I'm not a parent, Miss Angela probably could speak better to it as guiding kids. But, as a teacher, we guide these kids, and like I tell them, you have to grow up, especially because I teach 8th grade and these kids are going to 9th grade. They have to toughen their skin. They have to be able to deal with certain things mentally, physically, and emotionally. But if I was talking to like a 4th grader, where I started teaching actually, I never told them to man up. I was like, hey, yo, I think we can use this to help you grow and build you. Let's help. How can I help you build you up? How can I help build you up? And I think man up is being overused, and we should probably change it to how can I help build you up? Because at the end of the day, we all going to fall, we're all going to make mistakes, but those mistakes should be learning. We should be learning from those mistakes and using them as stepping stools to get to where we want to go initially.
Man, I should have had you go last, bro. I don't know how anybody else gonna top that answer. That had to be the greatest answer I've ever heard. I'm sorry to y'all, but come on now. That's like a 10 out of 10 answer. I would have paid you $100 to tell that answer to someone else. But but here's my thing. Can we bring that comment back up by the man, the myth, the legend, Leon Thomas? Thank you so much. I don't like it when others, not parents, say you're tall, you should play basketball, or you're big, you should play football. Now I can say this to my personal life because like look how big I am, like look at my arms and stuff like that. And when I go out in the grocery store, wherever I'm going, people look at me and I'm like, and they're like, "You're big, you play football, don't you? You're a lineman, aren't you?" And it's like, well, yeah, it's cool, but why do you automatically think I play football? I mean, I get it. I'm big and I'm muscular and I'm like that. But some people also like, oh, like you can still make the league. I'm like, bro, I'm 24 and I'm outside of college. How can I make the league now? The only way I can make the league is if I join the UFL. And I am leagues away from the NFL. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not making the UFL. But hey, I want to appreciate Leon Thomas for that comment. Leon, you're the GOAT. And I'll talk to you soon. So now I want to give this question up to DJ. DJ, do you believe that man up, the term man up, is being overused in society? And how do you feel about it overall?
The term man up is being overused a lot in society because, for one, you can't tell somebody to man up if they don't know how to be a man. That's the first thing. Parents, uncles, fathers, grandfathers, coaches, mentors, man up, man up. I was always told, if you want to be a man, I'm going to show you how to act like a man. I'm going to raise you to be the man that you're going to be 9, 10 years from now. So when you're telling someone to man up, you know what I'm saying? It's like a dream. It's, a dream without work is simply just a thought. A child without the proper training to be a man, he's going to continue to be a child. He ain't never going to know how to be a man. He's not going to know how to man up. So when these kids, these middle school kids, the YNs, what they call them, they outside, they're doing God knows what outside because they don't got somebody in their head, in their ear, showing them how to be a man. You want to go outside and act a fool, then the reality is now they don't have the opportunity to be a man because where are they? Oh, they're on the street, they're on the ground, they're behind bars, or they're 6 feet under. Mm-hmm. Term man up needs to set back a little bit. Instead of man up, say, I'm going to train you, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to mentor you on how to be a man. Like teachers, I'm going to show you how to do this math problem. So that way, without my help, now you know how to do that math problem. I'm going to show you how to be a man. So when you go outside, you can hold yourself up like a man. You don't have to have someone check you and be like, man, he not no man yet. You know what I'm saying? No, my pops taught me how to be a man, so now I am one. That's how the term should be used. Man up, man, that's like, I've heard that so many times, but there's been times where I've heard that and I'm confused because it's like, I'm 10 years old and you're telling me to man up and I'm at a soccer game, all because I didn't make the goal. We're on two different topics here. You should be showing me and teaching me, hey, next time, aim this way, aim that way, kick the ball this way, kick the ball that way. Man up is overused because people don't know how to use it. People don't know how to use a lot of the terms out here. Where did YN come from? We don't know. People just see it on the media and start to use it. People hear man up and say, I'm going to start telling it to everybody. What I always tell younger kids, younger cousins, If I see you doing a manly act, I'm gonna watch you. And if you fail, I'm gonna say, well, since you want to be a man, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. And then I'm gonna make you redo it again. That's part of manhood. It's like I want to watch you do it first. I want to see what you know how to do. And then if you fail, that's fine. But failure is never an option, because failing and quitting and failing and trying again are two completely different things. A lot of people don't understand that. So yeah, I definitely believe man up is overused a lot because people don't know how to use that term. And a lot of the people that are telling you to man up probably aren't even men, because age don't matter. You can be 35, 40, 50. They don't even know how to be a man because they stuck in that child mind. So you can use the term all day long. I always say flip it on them. Okay, you're telling me to man up. Show me how to be a man. And if they stutter, if they freeze, if they don't know what's going on, if they just, they're confused, you're not a man. So how you going to tell me to man up and you're not even a man? So that don't make sense now.
Oof, I love that.
Hey man, banger after banger after banger of an answer. So I wanna go back and I want to touch up on the point of for math teachers, for students. Me and Mr. Dixon we both know that when we try to help our students with math questions, nowadays a lot of them just use Chat GBT or they use some kind of like Goth AI. I remember one time, Carter, don't shake your head. I know you did it too. So there was one time I did a math test, right? And I stared this kid dead in his face. And I asked him, I said, are you using Goth AI? He said, no, I'm using Chat GBT. He just said he cheated like in my face. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not mad at you. You told the truth. But on a more serious note, to put that in retrospect to men's mental health, right? If we're using, let's say the kid's using Chat GBT, the cheating way is maybe like, oh, I saw my friend do it. Or a cheating way could be, oh, well, I just looked it up. Or I searched up a YouTube video on how to be a man. I searched up a YouTube video on how to deal with this certain situation. I believe that you only learn through certain situations if someone is physically telling you. I don't think a video can teach you everything about being a man. I mean, sure, there's people out here like there's high celebrities that can say, hey, if you want to be a man, here's what you should do. If you want to do all these manly things, here's what you should do. But if someone in your circle, someone who's within arm's reach of you, someone who's able to answer your questions day in and day out, 24/7, those are the people you need to be listening to. Those are the people you need to take facts from. Your father, your dad, your stepdad, your barber, whoever. I take advice from my male figures in my life. I still take advice from the barber that I go to. He told me put $40 in your savings every single check, every time. You may fumble a few times, you may get down to zero, you may got pulled for it a few times, but as long as you keep going, you keep that discipline, you're gonna make it to the top. All right, now for the man, the myth, and the other legend of the hour, and going on with Miss Angela, Carter, this question is now to you. Well, it's really to both of you, but I wanted to highlight Carter because like he's a little younger. So this is something that like hopefully I hope you can learn from. But when you hear the term man up, and be honest, no one is going to yell at you. No one's going to be mad at you. I promise you, your friends are not seeing this. But when you hear the term man up, what do you truly feel about it? And do you think that we as a society is using it too much?
I mean, I never hear it often.
That's good.
I only get told to grow up like I forgot his name.
But just grow up. Okay. So have you ever heard anybody, it don't have to be towards you, have you ever heard anybody say the term man up?
No.
That's
It might be say no.
That's different. Okay. Miss Angela, I want to hear your opinion on this.
So the first thing, you guys had some great, everything that you said was amazing, because my first thing when I hear somebody say man up, I need you to define that. I need, what is your definition of manning up? And everybody can have their own definition, but what are you trying to say when you tell somebody to man up? And number two, you should always lead by example. You don't have to tell somebody to man up. you need to function in that manner, especially if you're the influence in this person's life. It has been overused. I think people are starting to come away from it. But yes, you're right. It has been overused. But the biggest thing is defining what does man up look like. And it can be used very derogatory. So you have to be very, very careful because we have all the other stuff going on. Are you talking to someone who is struggling with their sexual identity? So now you're telling this person to man up. It can go really deep. It can go very deep. So, are you using that word as a weapon? Because a lot of times you are. You're telling somebody to man up because you're using it as a weapon, because you're telling them you're not acting like a man. And the majority of the time you're talking to a child. So what do they even know about being a man?
Exactly.
So it goes back to defining what that is and you using your words. I need adults to use their words. Stop traumatizing these babies. Use your words. Explain to them. Okay, let's go back. Use your words. Be a leader in your household. Show them what being a man looks like. Have those conversations saying, hey, Carter, I need to make sure that you take a bath and put a lot of deodorant on. Those are the things that you say to little kids, and that's showing them how to be a man. What do you have to do for me when you come here? You have to open the car door for me. But we don't tell him to man up. He just knows that his grandpa told him, hey, you have to open the car door for your grandma. That's showing him how to be a man. That's leading by example. But, yes, you do have people who use it as a weapon. But hopefully we're coming away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so, too. Listen, this whole panel right here, straight bangers of answers. Now, something I want to touch up on that Miss Angela said, that you mentioned that we need to show men, or really all three of you did it, that we need to show what man up is. And we need to show examples. Just like what Carter said with his grandpa when he says, you open the car door for your grandmother. I do the same thing for my students. Because when I walk through that classroom door every day, and I always think, how can I teach just the young men specifically? How can I teach the young men in my classroom to be more, to be more of men and less of YNs? What can I do to teach my young men of students? What can they do to be better individuals? What can they do to be better men, instead of them going out here and they're involved with all the extracurricular stuff that could lead them to, like DJ said, they could leave them either incarcerated, 6 feet in the ground, or they're in a police car for the next 20 minutes of their life, or probably for the next 5-10 years. So something that I always tell my students, I always say, hey, clean up after yourself. Hey, you dropped your candy right here. Now, amidst all the chaos of them saying, oh, it's not mine, no, I didn't do it, no, they had it. But besides all that, I always tell them, hey, I saw you with this chip bag. If you can pick it up for me. Hey, do you need a pencil? Do you need this? Do you need this? All right, that's cool. Just make sure tomorrow you come equipped with paper and pencil. It could be small stuff like that. It don't have to be something huge of I expect you, remember you said Carter expectations. I expect you to have this figured out. I expect you to know what this is. I expect you to know how to build, how to cook, and how to do all this other stuff. I'm not teaching my students that. I'm teaching my students how to be functioning people in this society. Mm-hmm. What should they do when they see a girl? Say hi. They will take her out on a date, give her a rose, and they always pay for everything. They pay for the full date of what's inside their budget. They say, hey, you know what? I want to take her to Chick-fil-A real quick. Cool. Grab yourself a little $30, $35. Go to Chick-fil-A. Boom. It's a good day right there. Parks nearby, they can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I always try to help my students in the best way possible, and know that they're in great hands as long as I'm their teacher. All right. So I think we got time for a couple more questions. But it's really only 2 more. So this one kind of goes hand in hand with the last question. So if you're raising a young man, And Miss Angela, you can pop in at any time because you know you done it already.
All boys.
Yeah. So if you're raising a young man, right? If you're raising a young man, how often should you use the term man up or toughen up? Should it be every time they fail at something, or should it be once in a blue moon, or if ever? So you know what? I'm gonna start this one with Carter and Miss Angela. So let's say, Carter, let's just say, if you watching over your little cousin or your friend has a little brother or something, and you're watching him, right? If you wanted to teach the term man up, how often are you using that term?
Never.
Never. Can you tell us why?
Because my vocabulary isn't that big to say all that.
I love the honesty, though. I love his honesty. Hey, never stop being that honest. Never stop being that honest.
You go far in life being honest, my friend.
Facts, man.
That is true.
Really do.
It may get you punched in the mouth a few times, but it
Yeah?
gets you pretty far.
Yeah.
But I mean, people will
Fucking
respect
honesty,
you for
boy,
your
it
honesty.
You're gonna have all the respect in the world if you keep being honest, man. Don't
Right.
ever stop being honest.
Facts. How old are you, man? How old are you?
12.
12.
You have a nice mindset for a 12-year-old.
Yep.
A lot of 12-year-olds don't got it together like you, man. I appreciate that honesty.
Facts.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is a good kid. I would say, I don't think you should ever say man up. I really don't. Toughen up. It depends on what's going on. And I really don't like using words like that. It comes back to having a conversation. If somebody, like if you have a little boy and he fell and he's crying, you're like, you know what, you're all right. Stand up. Let's talk about it. Ooh, we had a situation that happened that can be, it was to my granddaughter, but it's something that we could talk about where, yeah, you know, right? So we were in the car, and of course this was a girl, but she got upset and, you know, she was crying or whatever. But we've had that situation even with Carter, where if you're crying, it's like, okay, let's talk. Why are you crying? Why are you feeling this way? It's okay. It's okay to have those conversations and ask the question, what's happening? What are you feeling inside? Because I want you to be able to get those emotions out instead of you looking at somebody saying, man, toughen up, get it together. You don't be out here crying. No, let them cry and talk about what are you feeling right now, and teach them how to work through those feelings. Teach them how to navigate through. That's teaching how to navigate through life. If I can teach you how to recognize how you feel right now, why you are feeling that way, and what you can do to prevent it happening again, because I want you to not let things take you there. Some things will, and some things you need to cry. I said, it's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out, but let's really talk about it and recognize why you feel that way. Is it because somebody told you to do something that you don't want to do? Okay, fine. But is it something that you need to do? And I told her, I said, there's this saying, I remember when I was a kid in church, they used to say, you know, eat the meat and throw out the bones. Take the goodness from it. Throw away the things that you don't need. Let it out, cry, but I need you to learn from it. Learn why I cried, what made me feel this way, and what I can do next time to prevent me from feeling this way. So instead of saying man up, talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to them.
Great answer. I loved it. When I tell you, I love that answer. That answer was amazing. I truly appreciate that answer, Miss Angela. There's one thing I want to touch up on that you did talk about, is that you know, when a kid falls down, right? Like let's just say, for example, when a kid falls down and they cry and they want help, usually in the mindset of a child, if you help them every single time, they're going to expect you to help them every single time. Mm-hmm. Let's say if you bail them out of a bad grade, like, right, Mr. Dixon, if you bail them out of a bad grade once or twice every time, they're going to expect it and they're not going to try as hard. Mm-hmm. So I believe when it comes to the phrase toughen up or man up or whatever, I think we shouldn't use it a lot, but it should still linger around, but only linger around in the sense of, I'm not going to be there to help you every time. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be there to help you whenever a tear comes out your eye. I'm not going to help you every time whenever something doesn't go your way.
Mhm.
Because if we fully take out, if we fully take away man up or toughen up, now all our kids are spoiled. Now everybody expects everything. Everybody expects to be handed everything. They expect to get help whenever they cry for it. So I think toughen up in this society is being used in the wrong way to say, you know what, it's not that bad, get up. You know what, it's not as big as you think it is, just get up and keep moving.
Mhm.
Because that's really teaching a child. That's like saying, well, your feelings don't matter. What you're feeling right now, it doesn't matter. Just suppress it and it'll go away. I mean, it's true, it does go away, but now it's like, all right, well, next time I have that pain again, nobody's going to help me. And, you know, in the long run, that could lead to the person being cold-hearted or them being shut out. Because maybe that one person, that one time, and that one minor issue, they didn't help. So now they don't want nobody's help.
And
That's
it can lead to anxiety.
Yes.
Because
anxiety, depression lead to all that.
All that. It definitely can. And the soft parenting, I'm gonna need us to stop it.
Please.
That's
Please.
soft parenting.
Exactly.
Like, oh, but I don't want to bother him. Like,
oh no, excuse me.
Oh, my child's an angel. No, they not.
My child never do that at home. What?
Your child just cursed me out.
Right. Your child just threw a chair at another kid's head. What do you mean? Your child just cussed me out in 3 different languages. What kind of thing?
I need everybody to stop with the soft parenting. These children need rules and regulations. You need boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teach the child at home, not just throw them at school and think, yeah. And so what happens is they come to me, and now I have to not only train the child, I also have to train the parents. How to be a parent.
I love the statement that the Bible verse, it says, train up the child in the way that they should go, and when they are older, they will not depart from it. I love that verse.
Love it.
And I was in a team meeting with my 8th grade team, and you know, our 8th grade advocate, she's a student advocate. She, you know, vouches for the kids, you know, whether they're in trouble, whether they need some counseling, she vouches for them. And the thing that she said is, I need these parents to stop letting these kids run this household. Like, it don't make no cotton sense. Why your child telling you what to do and you 40 and paying the bills? Yep. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like, and to even kind of tie in on, you know, what you were saying, Greenfield, like, it is being used in a weird way and it doesn't need to fully go away. Like, I heard toughen up in football when I was playing, you know, because that's a sport where it's very hard-nosed and you need to be able to get up even after getting smacked. You know, you have to push through. You got to be consistent and persistent. But, you know, there's a time and place for it. You know, that's why I stand by the saying, how can I help build you up? You know, like Miss Angela's, we need to have conversations. Mm-hmm. Help them to understand that what they're feeling is okay. You know, their feelings are never inadequate. They should never be dismissed.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you are going to go through things, and I had to tell my students this, you're going to go through a lot in life. Your life is just really beginning. You got 4 more years of school and then college, if so, you choose. You know, your parents ain't always going to be there to help you. I'm not going to be there to help you all the time. I can help you. I can educate you, but I'm not just going to educate you on math. I'm going to educate you about life. And the system, especially for us minorities, is set up for us to fail. They want us to fail. Mm-hmm. And these kids have to realize that if they just keep getting entitled, getting what they want, getting that help every single time, their parents are setting them up for failure. They're not helping them. They are literally being a crutch. And my pastor says that we're not a crutch. We're here to help you, but we will not baby you. When you're wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. And I tell my students, I'm like, hey, you can talk to me about anything, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're wrong, I'm telling you you're wrong. If you should apologize, I'm telling you you better apologize. If I need to call your parents, I'm calling your parents. Like, if you're gonna come to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be bluntly honest with you. Because at this age, especially as eighth graders, you guys are going on to high school. You have to build, you have to grow because you cannot remain the same. You can't have that same mindset. You can't have that. And I believe it was DJ. He was like, the age doesn't matter. You know, you can't say man up and you don't know how to be a man. You know, like
Mhm.
it's it's crazy because if we can build these kids up, like really build them up, you know, not just with the knowledge that they need for school, but the knowledge of life, you know, share some of our experiences with them. They will be better equipped for high school, college, trade school, you know, what being entrepreneurs, whatever they choose and desire to be. And if we instill in them the love of God, they will touch so many people.
Absolutely.
That is an amazing answer, man. Because I fully believe so, and I totally agree. DJ, do you believe the term "man up" is being too used? Is you nah? Shut up. Is it being used too much? Do you believe that?
Yeah. Here's why. Because I don't have any kids, but I have an 8-year-old sister, and I have a lot of younger kids that look up to me. You know, as a mentor, as a big brother. I even have people that are around my age that look up to me as a big sibling. Specifically, when it comes to the boys, I never tell them to man up. I allow them to feel what they want to feel because that's a part of the breakdown. When you break something down, you want to build it back up. But if you never let something break down, it ain't gonna be solid. A house that's built on sand will never stand. It's gonna crumble. So anytime a kid cries, falls, feel pain, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna comfort that child. Because yeah, I want you to feel that pain, but I want you to use that pain. And while I'm raising you to become who you're gonna be, you're gonna remember that pain every single time you feel it. And it's not just gonna be physical, mental, emotional. Every man um raised, like from when I was growing up, men were always raised to not feel anything. And that's the problem. Because
Mhm.
men want to parents and fathers, they want to raise us to not feel anything. And then when we feel something, we don't know how to deal with it. We just, crash out. We crash out. We're confused. We don't know what to do. And we're so tough. And that's why even in relationships, when you're with a woman, women want their men to be able to express themselves, but we so hard headed, we so hardcore, we don't want to express it to them, and it makes it harder for them to get to us because it's like, how do I get to my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend? How do I get to them when they're not letting me feel anything? But then we got to remember, wait a minute, they were raised to not feel anything. That's why they're not able to, feel those kind of things. So when you keep throwing out that term, man up, I think back to what the true definition of parenting is. Teachers, mentors. The point of a father, just father's perspective, provide, protect, discipline, and guide. Heavy on the guidance because you're supposed to guide your child in the right direction. Don't guide them in the direction to not feel anything, to not know anything about life because there's a lot in this life that's going on right now. There's a lot of history that people that are having kids now, we got to go down this long list of history so they know what's going on. And that's going to take a while, but it's the point of parenting to teach them. So that way, before they hit high school, they'll have a high school mindset. Before they hit college, by that 12th grade year, or they already gonna have that college mindset because they gotta know, hey, mommy and daddy not gonna be there for you. You going on this college, you gonna live on this campus. It's you, my man. Whatever you decide to do is you. I'm just here to make sure that I can see my kid grow for 4 years, 8 years, whatever major you decided. I want to continue to see my kid. So I'm gonna raise you from elementary all the way from kindergarten, from getting babysat, from here all the way up to high school. Or you're gonna learn about life. You're gonna learn how to provide for yourself. You're gonna learn what the true definition of life is. You're gonna learn to be grateful for this life because a lot of people also aren't grateful for the life that they have. one of the biggest tests, I always say this, one of the biggest tests in life is time. People waste it all the time, but they're not using it. I always tell parents, you need to use this time to learn more about your kid, because a lot of parents automatically say, I know my kid. I was his age. I was that age. We in two different times. This is 2025. This is not how it was back then. So as a parent, like if I had a kid, I want to learn. I'm going to ask my kid questions, and I'm going to take some notes. Like maybe I'm going about it the wrong way. How would my kid like me to go about it? Because end of the day, it's a bond. When you're raising, you want it to be fun. You don't want to be trying to raise your kid and put them in the right direction and they don't like you. Because kids don't understand, you don't have to like everything that a parent does. I didn't like everything that my mama did. I didn't like it. But it's because she made me realize you're not always gonna get your way. You're not always gonna like what I have to say, but you're gonna understand this because I love you. I'm gonna teach you this, and I'm gonna get you used to hearing this. So nowadays, man, we know how to take what's the word? We know how to take criticism. We know how to take criticism now, because that's the other problem. A lot of kids don't know how to take it. Like a kid do a nice project, they customize a nice shoebox, you go and present it. That one student, I don't like the color. I don't like how you did that triangle. You should throw it away. Now he's breaking down mad, he's losing his mind. Whereas if parenting was in the picture, you know what? You're right. I could have cut it, a little bit this way. I could have used a brighter color. You know what I mean? You don't want your kids to be raging. You don't want it to be out of control. And that's why a lot of kids are bad now. The smart mouths in class, talking back to the teacher, talking to the parent like they paying bills in the house. You just looking at them sideways like, who is he talking to? You don't even
Stop,
know.
you're triggering me. Stop, you're triggering me. Oh my God.
What a bill is. And
You're triggering me.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? That's parenting. That's the part that parents do. That's why a lot of kids need that parenting, need that mentor, need father figures, need mother figures in your life. A lot of people don't even got no parents. We got to think about that too. A lot of kids don't even have parents. So the ones that don't have parents, people like us, Anthony, forehead, like where people are in this world. People are here to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People are here for that. And like I said earlier to my man, his honesty blew me away because he's only 12, which lets me know, he already got a leg up on a lot of other kids right now. Like literally, he don't even realize that, but he gonna know it. But the beauty of that is, before he even reaches high school, he's gonna be honest. He's gonna communicate everything. He's not gonna not open his mouth about. He gonna actually say things to his teachers, to his family. Hey, I need some help. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you teach me this? Hey, I'm angry. Why am I feeling this way? And then we can then explain to them, you're feeling this way because we have these things called emotions that we're allowed to feel. Yes. So, man up. It's overused too much. People need to understand the purpose of parenting. People need to understand the purpose of guiding, of building up. And the emotions are the tear down point. These kids are going to go down a lot. You're going to fall. You're going to fail. But it's when you keep trying that has value, that people like parents and mentors, we're going to look at that. Because the minute we see you quit, that's another lesson. You don't got to quit. You're only 12. What are you quitting for? I'm 23 years old. I ain't even hit 30 yet. Neither one of us did. So quitting early don't make sense.
I ain't hit 30 yet.
Like Anthony said earlier, going to the NFL, that would be an amazing dream. But he only 24. So quitting now, when we have the potential to keep going, next year he could get an opportunity to go there. And then it's like, now he could look back and say, you know what? I remember I was about to quit, but I did.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna talk your head up, but that's just how.
Hey, look, man, if I had an NFL scout next year saying, hey, I'll take you away from all this teaching stuff and you can come play in the NFL, you know what I'm gonna tell him? I'll be like, no, I love my kids too much. I want to stay here in Maryland and teach math.
I find cap in that statement. I don't.
You're right. I'm lying. You're right. I'm lying.
See, Carter, he lied. That's not a good thing. Be honest.
He lied real bad.
Carter,
I'm going to the NFL. I'm getting my jersey number. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna say, hey, go buy my jersey. And if you buy my jersey,
hey, I'm gonna be like, autograph it.
I'll give you.
Autograph.
Yeah, I'll give you candy and Takis and all that other stuff. All right, so look. So we're getting to the end of the show, and this was a complete banger of an episode, and I loved it from the first question to the last, to the interactions in between. Now, the way that we close out here on Ant-Archy, sometimes we do, if I remember to. The way that we close out here on Ant-Archy, but if you guys have any closing remarks, shut up, DJ. If you have any closing remarks, and shut up, Mr. Dixon, don't say a word. If you have any closing remarks about men's mental health, anything you want to say to the young audience out there, anybody that wants to say anything about mental health, the floor is yours.
Well,
Definitely.
you know,
Yeah,
it,
Mr. Dixon, you can go first, and then Miss Angela, and then DJ.
okay, cool. Well, for the young people out there, I want to encourage you that not everything is going to go your way, but that's okay. I want to remind you that life is going to be full of ups and downs. You don't have a manual for life, but you do have people that can lead, that are supposed to lead you and guide you. And sometimes those people hurt you. And it messes with your mental, or you may have gone through something as a child and you didn't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to cope. I want to encourage you to find that man or woman that has made a positive impact on your life, whether that's a family member, whether that's a teacher, a coach, a barber, whoever, whether it's male or female. Make that person someone that you can talk to, because 9 times out of 10, they've been where you are at and can help guide you to where you want to go, or at least some kind of direction. I remember last school year, I was very shocked. And actually, I'm going to tie this in with Father's Day. One of my friend's mothers actually texted me Happy Father's Day this year. And I was like, thanks, but I'm not a father, right? I don't have any kids. And she replied saying, you're a father figure to many in the church and your community, and I was like, I never looked at it like that. And that brought back what this kid said to me last school year. He was like, Mr. Dixon, you're one of my favorite teachers. I'm like, thanks, man. Hey, I'm proud of your growth. He's like, my father's not in my life. And I was like, I'm sorry to hear that, young man. He's like, but I see you as my father figure. And I just looked at him. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, you're kind, you're smart. When I mess up, you don't yell at me. You just try to help me to get better. And this kid was in 5th grade. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. I'm going to push you a little harder now, but I appreciate that. So for even you, Carter, I want you to know that there are people that look up to you. There are people that admire your honesty, people that admire your work ethic, people that admire you, but they're not going to say it right now. As you get older and keep making a positive impact on people, those people are going to eventually be like, hey, I can vouch for him. I can write him a letter of recommendation, because not only your peers are going to see it, but also your teachers, also your coaches, if you're into any extracurricular activities. They're going to see it because God placed it in you.
I'm going to tell you myself. He is. I'll tell you myself. And let me tell you something right now. If I'm able to, Carter can get a letter of recommendation from me tomorrow. if it allowed it. Like, he can just say, like, oh, he's my summer camp football coach over in Maryland. Boy, like, oh, hey Anthony, I need a letter of recommendation. Who is it going out to? What is it for? And what do you need it by? Because boy, I can boom like that. Man, my closing comment is this. This is from Leon, the man, the myth, the legend of all time. Hey, Leon, I appreciate you, man. For everything you've done for me, I appreciate you. My closing comment is this. We all need to recognize that we say and how we say it makes a difference. Yes. Oh, my God. I'm going to say that again for people that didn't listen. We all need to recognize that what we say and how we say it makes a difference. We don't know where others are on their journey, and the power of our voice has has to make a real difference. Yes, I totally agree with that. Agree with that, Leon, because the way that my tone comes out to my kids and what the message I'm actually trying to tell them, sometimes I get misconstrued and they're looking at me like, oh, why'd you say it to me like that? Oh, now I don't want to do it. Now I'm seeing the guy that's like, oh, I just like yelling at the kids. No, I actually want your best interest at heart. It's just my tone just overshadowed the message of what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So, still, we're in our closing remarks. I don't want to take up anybody's time. Miss Angela and Carter, do you have any closing remarks you want to say to your peers or to the younger audience about men's mental health?
I'll let you go first. What would you say what would you tell your peers?
Don't you shake your head. No, you got something to say.
Somebody
You're not allowed to have no remarks.
tell them to do.
Get your work done.
Get your work done. Get your schoolwork done. That's a good one.
What about somebody that's like struggling with talking about it, Carter? Like, what would you say to somebody that was kind of having a hard time speaking up?
Like if they were sad or hurt or going through something.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
You don't really know. Would you tell them to talk to somebody?
Probably talk to the teacher.
That's good.
I can
Yeah,
respect
talk to
the
Miss
fact
Angela.
that he doesn't even know. Like, I love the honesty.
I do too. I do.
Like, I love that honesty. And it's okay not to know. You don't have all the answers. No one ever does. But
You're
Jesus.
not born with knowledge. Just understand that. No one is born.
Yeah, you can say I don't know. It's not gonna hurt you. So, Miss Angela, what are your closing remarks?
Yes, I do love the I don't know. And I tell all my patients that when they come to me and they say, I don't know. I was like, great answer. Great answer. My closing remarks would be, one, I need everybody to recognize that the suicide rate in men is heavy. It's one of the highest. And right now in African-American men, it is the highest it has ever been. Higher than anyone. White, Black, Asian, women, African-American men is at the top. So I need everyone to pay attention to each other. Make sure that your friends are okay. Make sure your family's okay. Listen to them. Watch how they're moving. See how, they're shifting. If they're changing their norms, like, hey, Carter, I'm gonna let you have my cell phone right now. You can have it. And you know that that's my cell phone. Something's going on. That's when you start recognizing that someone is planning on committing suicide because they just start doing things different. They don't tell it. They don't announce it. If somebody's announcing, they just want attention. When they don't announce it, that's when it's real. So I need everybody to recognize that. Definitely call 988 if you're feeling some kind of way, if you're feeling like you're sad or you need to talk to someone. I know Carter mentioned that kids are vaping now. Totally blows my mind at that age. Yes, high school, but we're in sixth grade? Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sixth grade, actually.
Definitely have those conversations. Be present. First of all, I want to congratulate all the teachers, African-American male teachers out here. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you for what you do. The world needs you. Babies need you. And be great at it. Don't just be there, be present. Because they need you more than you will ever know. And I thank you for it. And if you're feeling some kind of way, go straight to the emergency room or call 911. Please, please. But the biggest thing is I need everybody to recognize what's happening in the world and pay attention. And what I loved about DJ, and I forgot your name.
Mr. Dixon.
Mr. Dixon.
Forehead.
Forehead man. The forehead guy.
You guys are the only ones that can call me that. Anyone out there watching this that tries to call me that, you are being revoked. I'm rebuking you. Oh, Jesus.
I loved how you mentioned your faith because you have to have something. And I pray that everybody believes in God and you know that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. That's right. That's right. Because you have to have faith. I don't know how it's hard for me as a provider to guide someone. I do my best and I feel like I do pretty well. But when you don't have faith, you're like, it's so empty.
Yeah.
It's so empty because faith gives you those boundaries and those lessons. And especially if you read the word of God, it's teaching you. That's a book of lessons.
Yeah.
You're not getting it at home. If you're not receiving it from anyone around you, if you read that Bible, Boom.
Over and over and
Great,
over.
great
It's
closing words.
repetition. Oh my
Hey,
God. I love
DJ,
her.
bring
I
us
think I
home.
might want to adopt her as a family member.
No, she's already taken. I'm already heard. What is it? Wait, how many?
Wow.
Don't worry about it.
You don't even
talk
know.
about it
You
later.
don't even know.
DJ,
You don't even know.
Shush. No,
He's my fourth.
that is my auntie. She's going to have another son in the family that's not actually her son, and it's me.
I'll be your
have a
nephew.
picture.
I'll be your nephew.
Bye.
Come on over.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
DJ,
He's-
DJ, bring us home, man. What are your closing remarks on this topic?
My closing remarks are very simple and they're also very deep, but I'm not going to take up too much time. The first thing I'm going to say is the more that we accept how different we are within us being who we are, the more opportunity we create for change. With change comes recognition. When you recognize that you are changing, that you are maturing, that is the opportunity for mentoring, for teaching. Also, never be afraid and never be ashamed of who you really are as a person. If you're a crier, go ahead and cry. Okay, right? If you're a football player, be a football player. If you're a basketball player, be a basketball player. If you're a racer, be a racer. But always recognize who you are, recognize the place that you have in your life, and recognize that the biggest gift in life is life itself. Don't waste time on anything that is not bringing you any teachings, any mentoring, any coaching. The topic of mental health is very important because a lot of men go through a lot of things out here that aren't spoken of. We go through a lot of things like we're afraid of weakness. We're afraid of being weak. We're afraid of denial. We're afraid of discipline. A lot of us don't get raised up the correct way. So that's why a lot of men out here, a lot of young men are struggling. But that's why they need people like us, like good mentors, like good people. Even you don't even have to be a teacher. You don't have to be a parent. You just have to be a person with a good listening ear that has the will and the want to raise and teach these kids how to stay alive, how to protect themselves, make them feel like it's okay to fail. It's okay to go to school. It's okay to be the guy that's passing in class over everyone else that wants to be foolish. It's okay to do these things. You know what I mean? And then like the term man up. Stop using the term man up if you don't A, know how to be a man, and B, if you're not willing to teach that kid or that person that you're trying to clock how to be a man. Teaching is needed in every aspect in life. We're not born with knowledge. We're not born the smartest. I'm not the smartest person, but I have a lot of knowledge. But another thing for the young kids out there, always remain a student. You are never, ever going to know everything. Only person that knows everything is the man above, and that's why we keep faith in everything. And get a good ear when we are saying keep faith. The minute you let go of faith, you let go of yourself. The minute you give up on yourself, you didn't even seek the opportunity or the blessing that God clearly has in store for you. I truly believe that everyone in this earth, God made to stand out, not fit in, but to stand out and to be themselves and not be ashamed of being themselves. So to close it all, the topic on mental health, recognize what's going on, recognize that it's real, recognize that we are here, we do go through things, and you're not alone in what you're going through, and never be afraid to go through it with somebody. Never be afraid to call a friend, hey man, look, I need a hug right now. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. I just need to come over, get a drink, crack open a beer or something, man. I just want to talk to you because I'm going to do something that I don't know how to handle it. That's what, therapists are for. That's what friends are for. That's what us people are for. Stop overusing the term man up. Instead, teach them how to be a man and guide them in the right direction and understand that these kids, these younger generations, we need them. They're the next us because I got told the same thing 4 years ago when I was in high school. Like, you're the future. And it's true that like the future is here now, but then there's more futures. There's more things going on. You know what I mean? So on that topic of men's mental health, man, I just want people to understand that it's real. All the men out there, you're not alone. We're all going through it. Never be afraid to go through it and stay true to yourself. Never be ashamed of who you are. Never be ashamed of learning anymore, and never be ashamed of crying and feeling emotions because we need that. In order for us to build ourselves up, we got to feel those emotions. We got to accept difference. We got to accept change. That's all Mook got to say for today.
Yes, sir. What a great way to close it out. So, hey, producer, let me get my single shot real quick. so we can all go home. Well, we have made it to the end of this episode for men's mental health. But the same way that I ended it the first time I had this episode, I'm going to end it again. All right? I want everybody to think right now. What's one male figure that you have not contacted in a while? Maybe your friend, maybe somebody who you met a few years ago, maybe an old teammate you used to mess with or you used to talk to. Maybe somebody who was in a club that you did. Maybe somebody that was who you used to be close with. Everybody has their problems nowadays, especially men. Men don't talk about our issues at all. So here's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to check up at least 2 people. Check up on at least 2 people and see how they're doing. It doesn't have to be a full conversation. I understand people are busy nowadays, but try to check up on 2 people. Ask them how they are and be genuine about it. Don't just do it because, oh, well, somebody told me to do this. No, actually be genuine in the interaction that you're having. Actually ask somebody, are you okay? Is something holding you down? Is something so heavy that you can't talk about it? Is something hurting your soul so much that you can't share with anybody else? I want you to do that with 2 people today. Or not today, but at some point in the future, whether it's tomorrow or next week, doesn't matter. Okay? Well, we have reached the end of this episode. Thank you so much for everybody who watched, everybody who supported, and everybody in the comments. I want to say that my gaming streams, they will be on Mondays and Fridays. They're going to be at 8 o'clock. And anybody who likes to come in, you can come in. You can, mess around in the chat. Say like, oh, you want to play me some game? It's totally okay. I'm cool with it. And my last words, I want to say, you guys know it's my trademark. It's my specialty. So I want everybody to do me 3 things. Stay blessed, stay passionate, and stay positive, guys. I'll see you later. Whoop.